Today on Homeworthy, we're taking you to London for a look inside antique dealer Miranda Uechtриtz's enchanting 19th century terrace home. As founder of the tabletop brand Maison Fête AC, Miranda has a keen eye for sourcing one-of-a-kind decor. Her eclectic style, enriched by collected items, creates a warm and inviting atmosphere that delightfully blends everyday elegance with historical sophistication. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi Homeworthy, my name's Miranda Uechtritz. We're here in London. Welcome to my home. Come on in. Hi, I'm Miranda, founder of Maison Fête, and welcome to my home here in Battersea. We found this place a little over a year ago. It's a 19th century terrace kind of cottage house and built in an estate that was originally built for artisans and workers, with schools, recreation, and a lot of community-focused buildings. And we are lucky enough to be joined by our family dogs, Georgina and Ophelia. They are on a little vacay in London right now. So welcome, I can't wait to show you around, and let's get started. So this is my living space, and one of my favorite things about this space is the original Victorian fireplace and tiles. I wanted this space to feel super cozy and warm. One of my favorite pieces that I own is this tapestry here. It was actually one of the first kind of big purchases I made when I became an antique dealer. And it's been in every house that I've lived in since I bought it. And I found it with my mum in France, actually. So it was a pretty kind of proud moment to buy my first tapestry piece. A lot of what I buy is antiques and secondhand furniture, and I'm a big DIY person as well. You can see some of the molding in this space downstairs was put in by my partner and I, just to add a little bit more of an historical touch and aspect to the house. So because I specialize in antique tableware sourcing and selling, I do collect a lot of it for myself, and I find that it makes for the best home decor. I also love collecting old books, and as you can see, I've got on these shelves here, along with some antique plates and some creamware pieces that I love to put out on display. This was a piece that I also found in France, where I get most of my antiques from. I actually found this cupboard separately and paired the two together to create a bit of a vignette here. And I love kind of blue and white porcelain and ceramics, as you can see. And I also got these lovely foxgloves from my neighbor's garden. She was very kind to let me have some for today. So I've got quite a few little art pieces that I've just collected from markets and brocantes over the years that I like to kind of layer and place throughout the house. Anything from etchings to oil paintings. I like to make a lot of my own lampshades, actually, from old fabric that I have. I've done this one here, and I love this indigo and the birds and this little ruffle moment. And my friend Holly from Fleur London gave me some flowers for today as well. She's a florist. I would say that my style is probably old and eclectic. I've got a lot of antique pieces that I love, but I don't seem to hone in on any specific era or time period. As you'll see in the dining room, I'm a big fan of blue and white porcelain and ceramics. I also love creamware ceramics as well. So anything that has kind of those deep, rich antique blues and greens, like the tapestries, I'm quite drawn to those kind of colors. I love collecting books that will inspire my tables and styling. This one my mother actually just gave me, Martha Stewart, which is a classic. So whenever I've got an event to style or am going to host a dinner party, I'll always have a quick look through some of these books to get some inspiration. This is actually a little DIY project. My partner wanted something that he can put his feet up on when we're watching movies. So being such a small space, I wanted something that I could kind of tuck to the side and then pop out when he wanted to put his feet up. So I just took some fabric and reupholstered this little vintage bench. So this mirror my mum gave me as a Christmas present a few years ago, and it's an 18th century mirror, and it's one of my favorite pieces. And I actually got it before we moved in here, but thankfully it was the perfect size to go above the mantle and kind of become the centerpiece of the room. And coming off the living room is our dining room, and when we first walked into this place over a year ago, I knew that it was for us just because of the amount of space that we had compared to the old flat that we were in, where everything was kind of jammed into one room. I love that this house has an open plan, but everything still feels quite cozy. We got this dining table, we went with round, and it actually extends, so when we have guests over, we can extend it and host more people. I've got another tapestry piece here, which I found in France. We put up molding in this space as well. I really love that this dining space has these built-in shelves here, which we created a little kind of bar area. So when we have friends over, we can have drinks. So we've got that set up here. And then you'll see my collection of 18th century Chinese export porcelain, which I do use sometimes, but most of the time it is on these shelves. We've got a little porcelain lamp here, blue and white to match the rest of the blue and white that's going on the shelves. I've got this beautiful English silver tray that I found at an antique shop just down the road, actually. And this piece of art I really love. It's 1950s charcoal drawing of, a teapot, a tureen, a champagne flute. So just more tableware, inspired decor. So I find a lot of these pieces when I'm traveling for work. I founded a company called Maison Fête, and I source and style antique tableware, which is available to purchase through our website online. And we also do event styling and photography styling. I started Maison Fête 3 years ago in the hopes to teach people the joys of dining with antique tableware pieces and to elevate their everyday dining. So it's amazing now. We've just started doing a lot of workshops now between France and London, which is super great to meet my clients and customers and teach them hands-on how to set a table, how to work with antique pieces, and how to arrange florals. I've spent quite a few years now collecting antiques in London and in France, but I'm actually not from here. I am from Dallas, Texas. I've been in London for 5 years now, and before that I was in Australia, in Sydney, for 8 years, where I studied interior design. And I came to London and took a job working in event design. My brother was living here and my family was part-time in France, so I wanted to be a little bit closer to everyone here. I picked up this chandelier here at a market just outside of London called Kempton and found the lampshades online to go with it. I love what it's done for the dining space because, as you can see, the whole house came with overhead lighting, so I wanted to add a lighting feature in here. So like everything else in this house, I got this console table from a market that was here in London, and it fit perfectly on this little wall to complete our dining space. And I use the bottom half of it is storage for my copious amounts of plates and tableware and crockery that I collect. And then I have some of my other favorite pieces, some gilded bronze candle holders, and some really beautiful 18th century cutlery that I put on display because I love to look at it every day. This is the original box that it came in, and it's actually made of fish skin, which is quite interesting, instead of leather. These are just little pieces that I've picked up over the years, just loved for no particular reason. I don't know, they just spoke to me. This is actually one of my favorite plates. It's all hand painted, and I'm so sad that there's only one of them that I've discovered. That's why it's up on the wall. So next we have the kitchen, and it's just through here. Here we are in my kitchen, and this is one of my favorite spaces for entertaining because we have this big bar here. I love the wooden countertops, and the first thing that I did when we moved into this space before unpacking a single box was putting up wallpaper in here just to give it a little bit of character. I chose this beautiful pale green floral trellis wallpaper, which makes it feel like a little English cottage in here. We spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Both my partner and I love to cook. We're cooking every day. So I would say this is the most used space. So like with any rental house, there are always a few things that you would like to change that you can't. Although I do love this kitchen, the cabinets aren't my favorite color ever, but I find that with the wallpaper that I chose, it kind of offsets the brightness of them. There's really no more space in this house. I think every cabinet and every cupboard and every closet is full of tableware pieces. So as you can see, I even have baskets and ceramic bowls on top of my cabinets here. So I have my collection of antique chopping boards here, which come in handy for summer dining and eating out in the garden. My other favorite part of the kitchen is this window here that looks out to our garden. I've got all my herbs in the windowsill. This is my favorite wall of the house, I think. I've got my china cabinet here where I keep some of my favorite and most special antique tableware pieces. But first I'll show you these wonderful little sconces that I picked up at a market in France. And they've got this beautiful little floral detail. And I've paired them with these embroidered artwork pieces here of flower bouquets tied with ribbon. We've got our extra dining chairs on either side of the cabinet for when we have dinner parties. And each of them are these beautiful tapestry pillows in this green velvet that I really love. On top of the cabinet, I have a collection of embossed terracotta pots. These are, I think, are just so fun. And you'll see actually out in the garden how much I really love antique terracotta pots by how many I have. But these ones are quite special and they're all a little bit different. I especially love this one here with the trellis design. This gorgeous blue and white tureen, which you can see has been repaired and stapled. And most people would probably turn away from a piece that's been damaged, but to me, it just goes to show how much someone loved it. They loved it so much that even when it broke, they took the time to repair it. And it really speaks through the piece. So it's on display there. And then if you open the cabinet, the first thing you see is my collection of Annie goblets. So this is a goblet that I designed myself for Maison Fête. And it's based off of the Georgian green petite goblet. As you can see here, in the 18th century when they were made to be very small because someone was always filling up your glass. And my mum had a collection of these antique goblets, and we loved them so much, but we could never use them at dinner parties because you couldn't really drink from them, 2 sips and you were done. So I made it my mission to recreate them in a larger scale, but keep as much of the original shape and integrity of their original characteristic as possible. And then I named it after my mother. So this is the Annie goblet. So I also have a collection of 18th century porcelain plates. I have this beautiful green border and floral design, which kind of is the backdrop of our hutch. So you can also see a small collection of antique cutlery pieces here. Back then, everyone used to bring their own cutlery with them to dinner parties, and it was kind of a status symbol. So they were really ornate and often beaded or hand carved or decorated in gold and jewels. And so these are a few pieces that I've found over the years that are just absolutely beautiful. And I just find it so interesting that people used to be so conscious of the pieces that they ate dinner with every night and how different it is now. And then this pair of glasses I actually bought myself as a birthday present a few years ago. These are 18th century hand engraved. This space is obviously the main transition out into the garden, and I wanted to keep it quite open because it also has the opening into the kitchen. So a lot of the times, you know, we're entertaining in this space, but I knew I wanted to put my china cabinet here with all of my favorite pieces. So that was kind of the main focus. So next I'd love to show you our garden, so come with me. So we're super lucky that it's summer now in London, an actual summer, not raining summer. I love to garden. I love spending time out in the garden. I love working with my hands. So I've done quite a lot to this garden since we moved in. There were a few things, but a lot of it I planted myself. So I'll just show you around a little bit. We've got some beautiful climbing hydrangea and jasmine that I'm hoping eventually will kind of cover this window, around this window here, and frame that quite nicely. And then over here is my little potting station. I have quite the collection of antique terracotta pots. I do end up using all of them. It's kind of like on a rotation, but I absolutely love them. And I especially love the smaller ones, which are great for little herbs or seedlings. So I don't quite know how this happened, but our parsley has gone insane and it's kind of taken over this corner of the garden. We also have a little bit of apple mint here that I've planted. And yes, we now use a lot of parsley when we cook. These haven't bloomed yet, but these are Japanese anemones, which they'll come in later in the year. And we've got a little garden bench here, which this is one of my favorite spots to come and sit, and also Ophelia's favorite spot. The thing I love most about this home, I think, is definitely the garden. When it's warm and sunny, we spend most of our time out here. We'll eat breakfast out here. We'll have dinner out here. My partner is South African, so we have a lot of braais out here during the summer. It's so nice to be outside and to have this kind of garden space in London is such a treat. This is actually a basket that I found on the side of the road and decided to plant raspberries and strawberries in it. And this strawberry plant is going on like 3 years strong now, which is quite huge. And then I've got some sweet peas that I only planted about a month ago that have just gone absolutely crazy. And then a few more hydrangeas because I love hydrangeas. So like I said, we dine outside a lot during the warmer months, and I'm always setting a table like I have today. We've got some beautiful peonies, which are in season at the moment, and the inspiration for this table. I love the different shades of pink, and so I've used some of my antique pink and white porcelain china for the plates, and just on some nice white linen. And we also have our Annie goblet, but in the new clear version, which just came out last month. These chairs came from my parents' house in France, and they're wonderful. They fold up, but they're very much just kind of like French garden bistro chairs, and they've really come in handy this summer. I couldn't only have tableware decor inside, I had to bring it outside as well. So I've got this blue and white Rouen style platter that I've kind of popped on the wall here, and you're so lucky to see the jasmine in bloom at the moment. It completely surrounds the entire garden, and it just smells amazing this time of year. So let's head back inside. I'd love to show you more of the house. So this is the primary bedroom, and when we first moved in, this room was painted this kind of baby blue gray color, and I tried really hard to decorate it for a few months and was just not having the best of luck with the pieces that I already had. So we asked the landlords if we could paint actually both of the bedrooms, and luckily they said yes. So we went with this color, which is Travertine Mid by Little Green Company, and it's made the room feel so much warmer, so much more cozy, and we're so happy with it. So this room also has really great built-ins with the shelves and side tables on either side of the bed, and a full wall of wardrobes on the other side, which is really hard to find in London, so that was quite a win. So the headboard and the lampshades I made myself from some tapestry style fabric that I had. Like I said, I like to make my own lampshades, and I thought it'd be really fun to match them to the headboard. And the deep blues and greens and kind of golden tones from the fabric paired really well with this paint color. So I was very happy about that. And that's kind of the theme for the rest of the room, this kind of dark blue that you see in this accent pillow here and in the curtains, and even through the painting above the bed and some of the porcelain pieces, more tableware pieces that I have on the shelves here. So on this side of the room, we have two big windows that look out onto our street. And I've put up these curtains here in this dark blue and kind of cream shade that match the colorway of the room. Okay, so now I'll show you the guest room. So this is our guest bedroom, and I wanted this room to be super inviting and really cozy. So we went with this beautiful green stone paint, again by Little Green Company. Green is my favorite color as well, so I really loved this room. One thing I love about this room is the exposed brick wall and the fireplace. It's the only room in the house that has exposed brick, and I just love how it makes this room feel like it's in a English countryside cottage. So there is a bit of a theme to this room that I think just kind of happened naturally, but it's very floral themed, which I love flowers as well, so I'm not opposed to it. I found this collection of vintage floral etching prints on Facebook Marketplace actually, and thought they would go perfectly in here above the bed. Still, of course, have a few tableware pieces, lovely antique porcelain floral plates. So this mirror I found at a market in France when I was with my mum actually, And it was one of those pieces where it literally stopped me in my tracks. It was raining, and we were actually on our way out of the market, and everyone kind of started packing up. And I saw this mirror leaning against a table on the floor, and it was getting soaked as well. But I just fell in love with it. It's got this beautiful kind of old, what used to be velvet, gold velvet, and then these hand embroidered bees on them. Now the actual mirror itself isn't old, or the wooden frame within it, but this fabric with these bees, I want to say, is quite old, possibly even 17th century. So being the floral garden themed room, the bee mirror had to go here. So I found this Georgian cabinet online, and I knew I wanted a larger piece of furniture in here because it was going to be the only piece of furniture in here. And I just absolutely love the craftsmanship on this piece and how it almost makes the room feel bigger because it is so big. And the great thing about it, a desk as well. Home to me is making lifelong memories with family and friends. Thank you so much for coming to visit Homeworthy. Until next time, bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.